Hey, good morning. Come on in. Welcome to JacinnaSpeaks. Yeah. Gonna be having a great conversation today, so come on in. Having some little technical challenges this morning, but we're going to keep it moving. So come on in the room. Hey. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Let's see what the word for today is. Today is November the 8th. The number 8 means new beginnings. So let's see what the word is this morning for November 8th. Good morning, everybody. All right, while we're logging on, I'm going to be looking at commanding your morning. All right. And our word for today is don't limit your thinking. Don't limit your thinking. And our scripture is coming from Colossians 1:16. And it says, for by him all things were created that are in heaven and that are on earth, visible and invisible. All things were created through him and for him, right? So here's our devotional moment for today. We have some work to do in the spirit. And this kind of change doesn't happen overnight, but it happens gradually and progressively. As we seek to understand the realm of the spirit better than we understand the world we physically walk in every day. As we do, the transformation that is possible is beyond anything. It is beyond anything that has yet been imagined. We must not be limited by our thinking or by the thinking of the world around us. God has more, and he is anxious to release it into the earth. But he cannot do it without you. He can do it only through his body. That body that they're referring to is the body of Christ. All right, so God wants to do something on the earth. Guess what? He needs our participation in order to get it done. That's what that's saying. If it is going to happen, then it is going to come through us. And it is only going to come through us if we understand how to pray and hear from heaven in revolutionary ways. So you're going to repeat this declaration after me. I'm going to start doing this. This is how I'm going to open up prayerfully each day with a devotional. Let me take my gum out. My apologies. With a devotional and a declaration. So even if I don't do a devotional, my apologies. I want us to do a declaration to start the day. All right? Are you ready? Repeat after me. I decree and declare that I have the mind of Christ, and therefore seek things above and not beneath. I ascend into new realms of power and access new dimensions of divine revelation. I declare that every mental block is cleared, giving the Holy Spirit unrestricted access to my mind, soul, and spirit. Father, reveal your assignments and agenda for me today. I will operate in my correct timing in the name of Jesus. Amen. Father God, we thank you. We thank you for your word on today. We thank you for ministering to us, oh God, and reminding us that if anything is going to be done in the earth, that it must be done through us. If anything that you want to happen in the earth is going to come through us. It's going to come through us praying. It's going to come through us believing. It's going to come through us speaking. It's going to come through us declaring and decreeing by faith. By faith. Things happen in the earth because we partner with you. Things don't just happen. So if we're not praying about it, how can we expect for it to happen? We have got to invite you into our situation. We've got to invite you. You've made us aware of it. And so we have to invite you, Father. I pray that on today, you will remind us of how important prayer is, how much power we have. That if we just tap in and partner with you, if we tap into the Holy Spirit and we partner with you, there are things that will take place in our lives that we never could have imagined. But there are also some things that will lie dormant. They'll stay on the shelf because we have not yet opened our mouth to ask you to get involved in it, to invite you into it. So on today, God, we pray that we will be more cognizant, that we'll be more intentional about praying about those things that concern us. Small things, big things. For our families, for our relationships, that we will be more intentional, no matter how small, that you, once you get involved, once you are invited into that relationship, into that situation, it has the power to change because you are now the change agent. We are just vessels. We're vessels. So we thank you on today and we bless you. Come on, we bless you today. We will not just keep walking around here thinking, oh, why did this happen to me and I can do nothing about it? No, we have power because you said in your word that we are made in your likeness and in your image. That means we got the same power that you have. As a matter of fact, Jesus said before he left, when I leave, greater work shall you do. You're going to do greater. You're going to do greater. You see what I've done? You're going to have the power to do greater because I'm going to live on the inside of you. So when God lives on the inside of you, that means he allows you to operate as he would. God, help us to take advantage of the relationship that we have with you. Sometimes I just don't think we take advantage. I just don't think we understand what we have. Sometimes I think we mistaken you with the same relationship that we have with people. And so sometimes we are afraid. We're afraid to have expectations from you because we are afraid that you won't come through like some other people in our lives. I come against that fear today. I come against the fear that God is not going to come through. We bind the spirit of fear today that you won't come through. I pray, Father, hallelujah. I pray today that as I hear you saying, if you seek me first, just seek me. I know that there are things that you want, and I'm okay with giving you those things. But if you seek me first, let me be your priority. Let me be first. Let me take first place. Seek me first. And I'll add all that. I'll make sure you get what you need. I'll make sure of it. And if by chance, I say no. If by chance, I don't give it to you, I promise you that if you seek me, if you make me your first priority, if I'm your everything, the more spaces, the more square footage I take up in your house. Come on, God. The more square footage, yes, sir. The more space you give me, the more room you give me. When you allow me not to just be on the porch, but you open the door. You open come on, God. You open the door for me to come in. The more you do that, the more you allow me to come in, the more you allow me to do that, guess what I do in return? The more residence in you that you allow me to take, the more areas that you allow me to be Lord in your life, master. The more of those areas in you that you allow me to rule and reign over, when I say no, it won't even be a disappointment. God, I feel that. It won't even be a disappointment. Because I will be enough in that area. I'll be enough for you. You won't look for anything or anybody on the outside of me. But I know you've been conditioned and trained to think that you have to receive your joy, your peace, your happiness, love and happiness. You have to receive that from what you can see. You receive that from the world. That's not how it works in the kingdom. In the kingdom, you receive your best when you rest in me. That's when you receive the best of me. When you rest in me. Outside of me is turmoil. Outside of me is drama. It's confusion, pain, disappointment, broken hearts, unmet expectations outside of me. But when you're with me, when you put me first, even though you may experience those things, God, come on. Because I did say that in this life, you will have trouble. You will have tribulations. You will have storms. You will have things that you go through in this life. It's life. But, conjunction, be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. I know you're trying to figure out, but that's you overcoming the world, God. What does that have to do with me? Listen to me. Listen to me. This is what it has to do with you, daughter. Son, this is what it has to do with you. Because I live, see, when you make me your choice, see, you didn't choose me. Yes, sir. John 15:8. You didn't choose me. I chose you. I chose you before the foundations of the world. I didn't choose you after your mama and your daddy got together, however they got together, whether those circumstances were wonderful or not so much. Listen, I chose you. I want you to pump your brakes right there, and I want you to throw your hands up because I chose you. Yeah. Listen, there are people, listen to me, there are people that are not going to choose me back. But see, I chose you. I predestined you. And I know everything that's going to go down in your life. I know everything that you're going to go through. I know every struggle. I know every pain. I know every tribulation. I know every trial. I know every issue. I know every disappointment that you're going to face. I already know how that's going to go down. But I also know, listen to me. I also know how that's going to work out. How that thing is going to wrap it up in the end. I already know. Listen. What I'm trying to tell you is because I live in you, because when you accepted me as your Lord and Savior, because I live in you, you now have some help. You got some help. There are things that you can do because of me, with me, living on the inside of you, with me being your partner, that you could not do on your own. I know you think you can. I know you think you can. I know you do. I know you do. Yeah, I know it. That's your nature. That's your fallen nature. That's your fleshly nature. You can't help that. This is why you've got to fight to choose me. See, when I chose you, I didn't change my mind. There is nothing you could do, say, become, not do, not say, not become, that will change my mind about you. I love you with an everlasting love because you came from me. It's like when a mother has a child. When we carry you, when we carry that child, there is nothing that child could do to stop us from loving them. A mother's love. Nothing. I want to remind you today. It's not a reminder. I need you to know today that God's love surpasses that kind of love. If you are a mother, you know what I'm talking about. You know what it's like to love a child. You know what it's like to choose that child. Even if you didn't want it at first, you chose to keep it. I can't even describe a mother's love. I can't even describe the love of a woman. A woman's love is so intense. It is so deep. It goes to the core of who she is. God says, my love is it's on a whole nother level. You would never be able to truly understand the love that I have for you. You won't understand it because you're human. My thoughts are not like your thoughts. My ways are not like your ways. You would never be able to understand it because you live in a fallen world. And because you live in a fallen world, you feel, you act and respond to the world that you live in. This is why, listen to me. This is why it is critical. It is absolutely critical that you know me. You want to see a change? You're tired of the same thing? You cannot expect change and continue doing the same thing. You can't. You've got to be willing to change. Let me talk to you this morning. Let me talk to you. I just want to talk to you. If you desire change, throw your hands up in the chat. Do you want to change? Do you want to walk in? Do you want to see? Do you want to feel? Do you want to carry the love of God? That love that surpasses your understanding, like when you are jacked up and you continue to be jacked up, you continue to mess up, you continue to be a hot behind mess. He says, he brushes your behind off and says, get up, let's go. Come on, come on, come on. That ain't stopped me. Yep. I know you done told me 1,000 times you weren't going to do that, and you went right back and did it again. That don't stop me. That don't stop me. That don't stop me. Somebody needs to hear that today, because you feel horrible, because you feel like, I just can't get this here right. You are not going to be able to get it right outside of him. It is impossible without him. It is impossible outside of him. You need him to help you every day. Every day, you're going to have to choose Christ. Every single day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Several moments. Several moments throughout the day. You're going to have to make him your choice. Yes, sir. You're going to have to invite him in. You're going to have to let him take. I'm telling you, that's the word that I keep hearing. How much square footage are you going to give me in your house? That'll preach. Shoot. How much square footage are you going to give me in your house? How much square footage we looking at? Are we looking at only 510? Are we looking at about 630? Listen, the capacity that you withhold, the capacity that you have in your house runs about, we'll just say 2,000. You got 2,000 square footage. Yes, this is what he's asking you today. How much square footage are you going to give me room to occupy? Yeah. Come on. How much square footage? How much square footage? Are you gonna only let me get into about 200 of it? I mean, how much of it? In which rooms are you gonna let me in? Because part of your square footage, remember, is everything on that property. So if you have a porch, if you have a lanai, if you have a sunroom, if you have a patio, if you have an outdoors area, that counts. Does God only have the balcony area? Is he only in the living room area? Let's talk about these rooms. Let's talk about them. Because you say you want to grow, right? You threw your hands up and said, I want to grow. Well, growth means anything that grows has to go through changes. Anything that grows has to experience pressure. Anything that grows, it has to stay connected to some source in order to get the nutrients that it needs in order to not only survive, but to blossom. So since you say you want to grow, let's talk about what that means as it relates to your residence, your spiritual residence, that is. That part that God wants, let's talk about it. When you say, God, because we're good. We're good to say, Lord, I give you all. You come in any room, can he? Let's talk about that. Let's just pretend that we all have a front porch. The front porch serves as a extended. The front porch serves as an extended area of living, if you will. When you're on the front porch, you can see things from afar off. Stay with me. Help me, Holy Ghost. Speak to us this morning. We are listening, Holy Spirit. Speak. We are listening, God. Speak. When you're on that front porch, you can see things from afar off that you cannot see inside of that house. Right? You can see things and be aware because you're outside. So you can see things happening in your life. You can see things. You can see different people that, are coming to your house. You can see visitors. You can see those that are not invited coming. And you have the decision to make whether you're going to let them in or not. That's when you have a porch. You're able to invite people to sit with you. You're able to invite people in just enough of your space to not come in. Are you like that with God? Yeah, you can come sit on the porch all day. We can sit on the porch, but I'm not about to let you in my house. I'm going to give you some access. Very limited access to me, but I am not about to let you inside of my house. Come on. We ain't got it like that. We ain't down like that. Isn't that what we say to God about some areas? God, in this situation, you can stay on the porch. No, you're not coming in the bedroom. The bedroom is the most intimate part of the house. Stay out here on the porch. It's stuff inside the house I don't want you to have access or exposure to. That's why you stay out here on the porch. And I make it very nice so that you can enjoy yourself while you're out here. As a matter of fact, I'll go into the house. I think we're going to talk about these rooms all week. We ain't going to rush it. I'll go into the house to get whatever you need. And I'll bring it back outside to you after shutting the door. You know, most houses have a screen door. So they got the screen door, then the door. The screen door serves as a barrier between the porch and the house. It serves as a double barrier. You can have the door open, but you still got that screen door. And that screen door serves as a notice that I want to still see, but I don't want you to come in yet. Yeah, I can still see what's going on out there. But you might have a little more access to the house, but you ain't coming in here. Is that what do we do that to God? Do we say, you just need to sit out here on the porch? I got everything in here. You just sit out here with me. Yeah. I got the spouse and the children. I got, I just need you to handle this coworker. I just need you to handle this little small stuff. Let's sit out here and drink some lemonade and eat some sweet potato pie. The porch serves as a place of recreation and comfort. Out on the porch, you can have your little drink, out there chilling. You don't really have to do too much out there on the porch. And some of us aren't doing too much out here. You like that porch relationship, don't you? You porch relationship with all your friends. You can come near, but you ain't gonna come close. Yeah. You might get an invitation to be around me, but you're not gonna get to know me. People that you have as acquaintances. You're friendly, but you're not a friend. Y'all can hang out. Ooh, Jesus. God says, you treat me like your little hangout partner. I almost thought we was going another way this morning, but here we go. You treat me like your little hangout partner. Why won't you let me in that house? What is it that you don't want me to see in there? You know what the porch reminds me of? The porch reminds me of growing up. I talked about this in class last night. That thing hit me in a different way. You grow up, and your mama them have company on the inside, your daddy, whoever. And they tell you to go outside. You go wait outside. Why do I have to go outside? Because you don't need to know what's going on inside. What do you have on the inside that Jesus cannot access that square footage of the house? What is it that you want to allow him? Why can't he get access to the living room? Right? Why can't he get access to the kitchen? Why can't he get access to the guest room and the second room? You know, our story is gonna be about a 2,000 square footage house that has a front porch, and it also has 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. This is just your standard home. All right. Why can he only, why are you making him stay on the porch? Porch is limited access. It is very limited access. How much access does God have to your life? For real? Is he not welcome into the house? Or he can only take up the square footage for that front porch, and we'll say the square footage for your front porch is about 120 square footage? Nah, bigger than that, Jay. Let's say 200 square foot. Why do you keep pushing him out? He wants to come in, but you're not allowing him to. What you got going on in there? Who you sleeping with in there that you don't want him to see? He already know. What you doing in there that you don't want him to know about? What are you hiding? What are you pretending to be on the front porch that you're really not inside of the house? You know, we used to go through that too. You know, you may have done it. You know, you maybe your parents or, you know, some older adult, you know, they would go to church or they would go, you know, out with their friends, and they'd be so sweet, so sweet. And baby, as soon as they left there or they had company come over, and so sweet, go in your room and sit down. You can watch TV. And as soon as they leave, what the you got going on in here? You better sit your behind down. Sha. And it wasn't no rose. You know what them bop is. Cussing your behind out. But the people didn't see that. But you knew it because you lived there. What are you doing? What's going on that you won't allow God access into the house? That's all we're going to talk about today. So if you tired of listening to that, click off. Why don't you let people get close? Why don't you let them get in there? Why do you do that? Why don't you trust people? Why do you have a hard time trusting people? Let me say something, because I keep hearing this in my spirit. I've been hearing this all morning. Since we are here on this porch, you might as well have the conversations you have on front porches. You know, those are when some of the best conversations go down, baby, on that front porch. Well, let's go and have one this morning. You mind? Who hurt you? Who hurt you? Who disappointed you so much that not only God said the person that hurt you, the person that hurt you, they're gone for most of you. Some of you, they're still there. And we'll talk about that in a minute. They're gone. And the people that are worthy of access, the people that are worthy of access to the other square footage of the house, that are worthy of access to the living room area, to the dining room area, to the kitchen area, those people cannot even get in the house because of what somebody else did. So now, anybody that comes to the house, you stop them at the front door and you come out and you sit on the porch with them. It don't matter the weather. Because you won't let them get close. Why do we do that? Why do we allow the ignorance, the immaturity, the unstableness, the back and forth, the double-mindedness, the inconsistency, unreliability, the disappointment, the pain, the regret of a former situation to cause us not to have great relationships with people that God's sending to the house. Sir, Jesus. Now, I ain't had no time to work this out in my head, so I hope this making sense. I'm getting it fresh. It's fresh. So I haven't really, I'm trying to think it through as I'm talking it through, and I hope it's making sense. You and I have all been hurt by somebody, right? Come on, help me, God. Help me. You've been hurt by somebody. Has that somebody stopped you? I know you're going to say no, because we always do. I don't need you to answer too quick. I need you to think about what I'm saying. Have you allowed an individual that hurt you, that disappointed you, to not only keep others on the porch, not get too close, not come in? You know, you got trust issues, you got walls up, you know, this person really likes you, they're really into you, and you just won't budge. I mean, you just like, instead of saying, come on. I'm not saying be stupid. I'm not saying allow anybody to come into your house. You know exactly what I'm talking about. See, that's the problem right there. You go cock to the left. You go, you you go to acting like you don't know. We're not talking about, listen, we're not talking about, I'm not going to let nobody hurt me. See, I got a problem with it. I got a problem with that attitude, because I know where that attitude is coming from. Let's talk about it since we're on the porch. So that kind of attitude, what you're doing is you're saying, I'm never going to let anybody hurt me like this person again. Okay, let me tell you what that type of situation is supposed to do and not supposed to do, right? When you get involved with, when you get involved with somebody, this is from platonic all the way to romantic, okay? So it could be anything in between there. You get into, let's just say, a friendship. You get into a friendship with someone, and everything is going well. It usually starts out like that. It goes well. And then something happens. Something happens where that person disappoints you, that person upsets you, they do something to bother you, aggravate you, whatever. What you do at that point is going to determine the longevity or the shortness of that relationship. And I'm going to tell you why. Immediately, something in you is going to be triggered. Something in you is going to be triggered, and you're going to say one of the following. Your mind immediately, it starts locating a similar situation or a similar person that did that to you, or something very close to it, right? They start thinking, you start thinking about, who was it that did this thing to me also? You start pulling that person up in your mind and the situation that occurred in your mind, and this is what you start saying. Oh no, you won't do that to me. You're not going to do that to me. Oh, no. I'm not going to give you the chance to do that. Most of us just shut it down. Immature people do that. Oh, so Jacinna, you just saying just let them hurt me? No. But this is what I am saying. They are not that person or those people. Sometimes when we get hurt, sometimes when we are disappointed about a previous situation, a previous relationship, something that happened in our past, because this is what you're pulling from. You're pulling from your past. Now, this is the way that God explained it to me this morning. He said, Jacinna, your past is a reference. It's a reference. That's what it is. It is a reference. You know what a reference is. It's just like when you trying to study your Bible, or, you're trying to look at something, you go to it to be reminded of it. Reminded. You don't go to it for it to dictate how you act. No, you don't do that. Because if you keep doing that, you're going to be a reactor. We react all the time. We don't ask questions like, why did I allow that person to do that to me? What was going on with me at the time that caused me to feel that was okay? Why did I allow that? I'm going to tell you something that God is teaching me. Since you want to grow, here we go. Let's grow. When something happens that triggers a past occurrence, this is what I do. I immediately think about, I get a point of reference. Who was it? What were their actions? Who was I at the time? And what was my reaction? That's the first thing I do. I try to not make assumptions. I try not to do that. But Jacinna, why you don't do that? Because God don't do that to us. Well, I ain't God. But he lives on the inside of you, though. I am not telling you to allow somebody to hurt you. I'm not telling you that. You know me better than that. You know that's not what I'm saying. Even if this is your first time watching this YouTube video, watching this replay, watching this live, if this is your first time, you know by my spirit already, because that's why you're listening, that I wouldn't tell you that. I would not tell you to keep yourself in harm's way. I would not tell you to allow somebody to come in your life to hurt you, to do any of that. You know that's not my position, and you know that's not who I am. But what I do want to present to you while we're sitting on this porch, I want to present this to you. Why do we allow the immaturity, the mistakes, the bad decisions, the bad behavior? That's it. The bad behavior of people and situations from our past to dictate our future and shake our present. Why do you do that? You know what I heard the Holy Spirit just say? Treat every person, treat every situation as a person by person basis. This is the thing that just popped in my head. Now, where it came from, if you've ever had a client, let's say you do hair, Janet does hair. Janet does hair. This is so good to be, sir. Janet does hair, and let's say Janet has 5 appointments today. Even if every last one of those ladies that are coming to see Janet want the same hairdo, the same style, she has to do something different for each one of them. Because their texture, their hair texture is different. Their hair color may be different, the pattern of their hair. There's something about their hair that makes them different from the other ladies. So she may have to blow dry this one's hair, where the other one, she may have to silk press it. The other one may just need a straightening comb ran through it, just real quick. The other one may need deep conditioning, while this one has healthy hair. So all they need is just a quick washing condition, and they're ready to go. Everybody needs something different. Why do we try to treat everybody the same? Do you like when people do that to you? Do you like when people treat you like everybody else? This is what I'm discovering. As a single woman, I'm noticing that even just with women that I meet, people have a challenge trusting. Yes, Lord. God says you even have a problem trusting yourself. Thank you, sissy. I love you. You even have a problem trusting yourself. That's what it really is, isn't it? Golly, that's so good. Sometimes the problem isn't even the other person, is it? Sometimes it's you. you don't trust you. Because this is what we do, right? This is what I'm sensing. Because the last time you trusted, you got your heart broken. The last time you trusted, you went too deep. The last time you opened yourself up to somebody in that way, they mishandled you. They took advantage of you. They used you. They manipulated you. They did not properly take care of you. They did not honor, respect, and value you. They didn't know how to handle your heart. So what happens is when someone else comes along and they have a similar behavior, they do something that may be similar, we immediately compare that past situation with this present situation, right? And so we start to back up. We start to, no, you're not going to do that. Listen, this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do. I want you to ask yourself 4 questions. 2 of them about them, 2 of them about you. The first, I said 5. The first question you're going to ask yourself is, what has this person shown me? Remember, I didn't even mention anything from this past person yet. I said, what have they shown you? What? And be real about it. Listen, this is not a time to play. Because let me tell you something. A lot of us we see red flags. We see that flashing light, baby. We see that yield sign, and we just keep going full speed ahead. Some of us, the light is green, and we think we see red lights. We think we see the flashing yellow light. It's not even a yield sign. It's just like, go, just go, just go. Have we been hurt so much? Have we been hurt so much, so deep and so bad for so long that we have this false sense of, they got to be perfect. And if it's any type of conflict, if it's any type of friction, this is not it, that everything is, what's wrong with us? Why do we do that? Why do we put that kind of pressure on people? Listen, let me just say this. I'm trying to be more focused. When God be talking to me, I'm trying to be more focused because I tend to go where he go, and so sometimes my focus just be off. I just be all over the place, and I'm trying to stay focused. But I keep hearing this in my spirit. If I have residence, the more square footage that I have in you, I'm going to send you alerts. I'm going to let you know if this person is not it. I'm going to tell you myself. You won't have to rely on you because, yes, you can be and you tend to be unreliable even to yourself. I know you don't want to hear that. I know you don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. But it's the truth. Sometimes I can depend on me. Sometimes I can't. Depending on my mood, depending on what's going on, depending on the experience, depending on the situation, depending on who I am at that moment. You could say something to me at that moment and I'd be like, whatever, child, please. Depending on what's going on in my life. And then you could say something to me and I break down. Sometimes I break down and I don't even know why I'm breaking down. Why is this bothering me the way it's bothering me? I don't even understand what's going on. This is crazy. You ever felt like that before? Somebody say something to you and you just like a bag of tears and you're like, what in the world is happening? You don't understand why because you're, listen. Let me tell you about relationships. I was talking to my strawberry friend about this yesterday. Relationships are constantly changing because you're constantly changing. You're not the same woman, the same man you were 2 years ago, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years ago. You're not the same. So because you're not the same person, listen, this is what I want us to do. I want us to start taking our experiences and asking ourselves, like, especially when we're triggered, because that's when you remember them the most. Most of us do not reflect on relationships like we should. We don't think about what is this person providing in my life. We don't think about that. We just go with it. We don't ask ourselves that first question. What has this person consistently shown me? You will know if they are for you. That means they're healthy. It's a healthy relationship. It's something that you should pursue. It's something that you should continue. If it lines up with what you see your father doing. If they are consistent, that is... It is predicated on what their consistency is in. Are they consistent with who they say they are? Or are they consistently not who they say they are? What have they shown you about themselves that will allow you to see who they are? You need to make note of that. And you don't need to make note of it when the test comes. Jesus, yes, Lord, I heard that. We are making note of who an individual is when the test comes. You can't wait till the test comes, boo. You got to be making all throughout. You got to be paying attention, watching, paying attention. I'm going to tell you what happens. People will do stuff and they have been doing it all along, but because you weren't paying attention, when it came at a moment where you were sensitive, where you were vulnerable, where you were, you were open, it came harder. So now your eyes are open wide and you're like, oh my God. And God is saying, but they've been doing that. They've been doing that the whole time. Some of this stuff, it really is on us because we are not taking the time to really reflect on who we are connecting to and why. I've heard Pastor Jackson say, and I've heard him say it, but I don't believe he penned it, but it doesn't matter. I heard it from him. Because I've seen it many places before. You don't make decisions. You need to halt. You don't need to make decisions when you're hungry, when you're angry, when you're lonely, or when you're tired. Do not make no decisions. As a matter of fact, don't talk. Don't do any of that. Do not get in a long conversation. Close your mouth and let that pass. Let that thing pass. Fix that area that you're dealing with and then speak. Because that's the real you. When you are hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, somebody else shows up. Or one of your representatives show up. And you're subject to say or do something or behave in a certain way that you wouldn't normally do. And then you're going to regret it. Or you may feel like, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Are we taking the time to reflect? Let me tell you something. Question number two. What has the person shown you? Question number two is, remember, it's about the person. You need to ask yourself, when they do this, how does it make me feel? When an individual, remember, we're at the individual, something has happened in the relationship with this individual. Something has happened with you and this person. You have been triggered. Something has happened to make you look at the situation deeper. When, in all honesty, you should have been looking at the situation deeper before. Don't worry, we're going to tie this back to the Father in a minute. You just hold on a minute. We got about 15 minutes. When we do not take the time to reflect, meditate, because that's what the word says, meditate on things, ponder them, roll them over in our mind, what we do is we come up with these false senses of moments and feelings and thoughts and ideas about a particular person, situation. What do you mean, Jay? Every single time I get off the phone with somebody that I spend time on the phone with, because I don't talk on the phone a whole lot. When I get through teaching all day and doing the Morning Manna all day, I'm kind of out of words. I don't really want to talk. And I don't talk to a whole lot of people. And that's not anything bad. It's just, I just don't. So if I spend a certain amount of time with you on the phone, that's a big deal for me. That's a big deal for me, right? I'm going to tell you what I've learned to do after every single conversation that I have with somebody. When I hang up that phone, I literally, in my mind, I stop and I say, what did they just give me? What did they just give me? And what am I receiving from this relationship? From this connection? I understand that every time I speak to this person, especially if it's somebody that you're speaking to on a consistent basis, right? There may be a time where we get off the phone and it's not a good feeling. It's not, I don't feel butterflies, or I'm not like, ooh, sis, I love my sister. You know, something may happen where the conversation goes on a downward spiral. You know what God has taught me about that too? And I did it last night. When I can tell that the conversation is on a downward spiral, like I can tell that, me and this individual had to have a conversation about something that was it bothered me. And when something bothers me, you can tell it. I can't hide it. I'm not a hider of emotions. Like, y'all know I'm not. I'm feeling it or I'm not. And the individual was able to pick up on it right away, which was a great sign. And then we had a conversation, and the conversation kind of went left. And I had to, if I hadn't been let me tell you something about working on you, baby. You best work on you. You better make you your number one. You and your relationship with the Father has to be your number one priority. I am so serious about this right now. You have got to do the work on and in you, baby. And you have got to be serious about it. And when you get serious about your growth, your personal growth, let me tell you something. Other people won't be able to affect you like they used to. They will not be able to, listen, they won't be able to get you out of character. They won't be able to make you feel a certain way. They won't be able to do certain things to you. They won't be able to dump their problems on you. They won't be able to take advantage. They won't be able to do that stuff that they used to do when you work on you. When you start healing, when you start coming face to face with yourself and saying, Jacinna, you need to get yourself together because you got some stuff about you that's causing you to hurt your own self. One of the things that you do is you think of people like you think of yourself. Because you are trustworthy, you automatically think other people are trustworthy. That's a good thing. And at first I said, you need to stop doing that. And God said, why? Why do you need to stop doing that? He said, I didn't create you like that. The world created you like that. Let me talk to somebody right now. Let me tell you something. God told me, he said, no. You don't change who you are because of how somebody else was. That's on them. That's on them, boo. What you've got to do is you've got to be always cognizant, always aware, constantly reflecting, constantly thinking about what you got going on with you. How are you healing? Because I'm going to tell you something. If you are not a healed person, when when something happens in a situation, that wound is gonna reopen. It's not a scar anymore. That means a remembrance. I remember that this happened to me, and it doesn't hurt anymore. I just remember it. But when you begin to act foolish, when you begin to act, get all in your feelings and carrying on with people, let me tell you what you do. The reason that you do that is because you still hurt, boo. You still hurt. That experience triggered pain. Instead of the experience triggering a moment, a reminder, it triggers pain. If it causes you to push away from somebody that has shown you that they have been consistent, that's pain. It may cause you to halt and not hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. It may cause you to halt. Pay attention. I had to bring that situation to the attention of that individual. And what God was showing me, and I want to tell you this today, because I was trying to figure out if he was going to have me talk to you about it, because he always got me talking to you about what's going on with me. He said, Jacinna, it is better for you to have this experience now than for you to have this experience later. You need to have this experience now because you need to start learning how to tell people, how to teach people how to love you. You need to start learning how to start teaching and telling people what you need. This is how they get off the front porch. When you don't teach people how to love you, when you don't teach people how to treat you, when you don't teach people, you don't give them boundaries. You don't let them know, okay, you can't do this with me. You might can do this with somebody else, but you can't do this with me. When you do that, what you are saying is, this is what I need in order to feel. That's number 3. That's the third thing you need to do. You need to be honest with yourself. Have I shown, spoken, displayed, mentioned, discussed, whatever? And sometimes you won't have, the opportunity won't come up to discuss it until something happens. This is why you will need to have done reflections, and you will need to have taken note of what's going on in this current situation. Because if you do not pay attention to what's going on in this current situation, and you are not talking and communicating what you need, you won't never let them in the house. You always keep them on the front porch. Let me give you an example. Let's say, for example, me and my friend girl, something comes up where she says something. Let's just say she says something that rubs me the wrong way, or she does something that rubs me the wrong way. I'm going to tell you again, the first thing is going to happen. I'm going to think about, because there's something that triggers that. There's something in my past that triggers that to say, that's a problem. So what I do is I go back to that point of reference and I say, okay, so-and-so did something similar to me, or did this very thing to me. And when they did it, not only, see, this is what we do. We say, this is what happened. What happened? You probably split up. You broke up. You're no longer friends. You don't talk anymore. You don't hang together. Blah, blah, blah. That's not where you need to stay. That's surface. We tend to have relationships on the surface. We have to stop that. We have to stop being afraid and all we having is these surface relationships. When there are people that God is sending into your life to have deep connections, and you want to have surface relationships because you scared. You not healed. because of what somebody else did in their immature moment, that bad behavior they had. Now you're inflicting that upon someone else that could possibly be a very good person, but they don't even know that they're doing it, or you having to bring something to their attention to let them know, no, you're not going to do this with me, or we're not going to be able to have this kind of relationship. You have to get to the root. You can't just look at symptoms. You got to get to the root. You don't just have a toothache. You have a toothache because there is an infection. So if you just keep going up there to CVS, getting the little stuff to rub on your gums, that's going to work momentarily. But if you have an infection, you're going to be in trouble. And what happens is when there's an infection, it causes other things because you didn't properly diagnose the symptoms and take care of them in the correct manner. That's what we do in relationships. We just work off of symptoms. Or just take an Advil for that. Pain means care is needed. Care. You need to check into this, especially if it's reoccurring pain. It's letting you know something going on that don't need to be going on. So in my little situation with my friend, she says something, that bothers me. The first thing I need to do is go to the point of reference. See who was this individual that is my reference. Who were they? What did they do? What kind of space were they in? Now, I'm going to tell you, if we be honest, a lot of times when we have these connections with people, we are getting in connections with people that are not healed. And because these people are not healed, they tend to hurt us. And I'm going to tell you something else that you're probably not going to like, but it doesn't mean that it does not need to be said. Okay? Just because you don't like broccoli does not mean broccoli is not good for you. We have to ask ourselves, what was going on with me that I stayed connected to this individual? What was going on with me that I remained in this situation? I know we want to, listen, that's your nature. That's your nature. Come on. That happened in Genesis 1. We ain't even talking about Numbers. We ain't even say to skip ahead. God knows we ain't even talking about Proverbs or Ephesians. No, baby. This happened in Genesis, where this started off. When a mistake was made, the first thing that happened was they started blaming. They went back to a point of reference and they started blaming. Well, this happened. I'm experiencing this because this happened. Eve blaming the snake, Adam blaming Eve, and God said to all of them, all y'all gonna pay. I wonder, are we causing self-inflicted pain because we choose not to see what we need to see? Or do we make more of something than it really is? Could it be, my friend, she just was not aware of what she was doing. She just wasn't aware of it. If I care about her to any degree, I should care about it because she's a human being. Tell her, hey, sis, I noticed that, a couple times this has happened that if, I try to bring something to your attention about you, I may try to let you know something that I see that may not necessarily be a positive thing. You get really offended by that. And I thought our relationship was, stronger than that, to where I could be honest with you. If she doesn't receive you, you have a couple ways that you can go with that. If she doesn't receive you, you could say, hey, pretty girl. Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
I'll see you in a little bit. You all right?
Yeah, my allergies bothering me.
I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
The first thing that you need to do when that happens, you know, when something happens to you, bring somebody, okay, this ain't even Friday, we're talking about relationships. If you make someone aware of something that you have noticed and they become offensive, hurt, that means they haven't been healed in that area. That's a trigger for them, and they have not been healed. Because what you're in essence doing is you're saying, I care about you enough to bring this to your attention, and I care about this, whatever kind of connection we have, whether it's on a small level or a greater level. What I'm saying to you is there's a wedge there. There's something there that we need to come together on, that I believe has the potential to cause some division between us. If when you tell this individual this, they are not able to accept it, you have to know right then that that person is not healed in that area. There's something about them that still needs healing, and that's okay. You now have this choice. You have the choice whether you will stand and you will walk through this with them. If that's what you believe God is doing, you can start pulling back. I'd say a good bit of us start pulling back because it's that innate, what is it called? It's something in there. I can't really name it right now, but it's something inside of you that says, Oh, fear. God said, what is it? It's fear. There's a fearful component in you that says, oh no, I don't want to be like, but we got to stop that. Why is that the first thing we think about? It's kind of like if your boss calls you. If my boss was to call my phone right now, my boss would not call my phone. My boss would send me a text message. But if my boss was to call my phone right now and say, Jacinna, can you come to my office? Honestly, me and my boss are really cool. I have worked for my principal for 3 different schools for over 14 years. We are really cool. 13 years. But if he called me on that phone and said, come to my office, my first thought would be, what's wrong? What's wrong? What did I do? What's happened? I would immediately start coming up with a negative response to that, a negative reflection. I would negative thoughts just to a phone call. Why do we do that? And we do that with people. If a person does something, we immediately think negatively. It's because of those triggers, those past experiences. Because usually what has happened is if that person did something to you like that is causing you to be triggered, you are no longer in relationship. Like something happened and you're probably no longer in a connection. Or if you are, it's not a good one. You had to remove yourself. Something had to happen. So as a result, when that happens again, you're like, And a part of you, okay, God, thank you. He said, no, you want to flight. You want to flight because of some type of, some level of fear. You want to flight. I got to get up out of this. Oh, I got to remove myself from this. Oh, no, you're not going to treat me like this. You're not going to da-da-da. And sometimes some people just need to be made aware. They just need to be made aware of what they have done, what they have said, what you see, what you sense, what you feel. They need to be made aware. I feel, like we're drifting, like we're not connected. Like they may not be even aware of it because what's going on with them. Third thing is you just shut it down. Okay, I'm not going to do this because in my last relationship, this happened. Or the last time, I got close with somebody, they hurt me. And that does not mean that this person is going to do that We have to stop doing that. That is so unfair. It is so unfair, not just to that person that's trying to connect with you, but it's unfair to you. Because listen, I just believe that we have missed so many blessed opportunities, so many amazing connections, so many, whether it is from romantic to business to platonic to church to friendships to whatever. So many good people have come into our lives. So many good situations have come into our lives. And we have neglected to embrace it because something happened. You know, maybe you had a business situation with somebody and they didn't do you right. Now here's another opportunity for you to go into partnership with somebody else, to work with somebody else, to team up with somebody else. And it's like, this new person has got to pay because they triggered you. They did something. I said this to a guy. I said, we met online, and something in me, you know, a woman's tuition, something in me said, he's still looking. Now I get upset. I'm gonna say this. This is my little closing. I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna say that. Okay. Online, just dating period is challenging in this time. And I'm online because I'm a teacher. I'm in this classroom all day. Who I'm gonna meet? By the time I get off of work, I'm running errands if I do that, and I'm going home. So I'm not out and about to meet people. I don't travel a lot, so I'm not meeting people. Do I believe God can send them? Yes, I do. But let's be real. Now stop it. I don't like when people get too deep and holy like that. That's just go too far to the right. Let's keep it in the middle. I'm trying to make myself available in different arenas so that I can be seen. Okay. Talking to this individual, and I felt like something's not quite right. Asked the individual, they didn't get upset or anything. They just basically, they were like, yeah, no, I am still online. Well, I had a point of reference. My ex-fiance, who really wasn't my ex-fiance, we really just come really down to it and just be real about it. My ex-fiance, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. I met him online. He cheated on me several times. I don't even know how many times. He cheated on me. And one of the ways he cheated was he was still online talking to other people when we got together. Now, in the beginning, we hadn't said, you know, we're going to get offline. When you start seeing somebody and you're seeing just that individual, or at least it seems like they're giving you, you know, quite a bit of time, you make assumptions. We have to stop making assumptions. That's something that God showed me about me. Jacinna, you make a lot of assumptions. And you make assumptions because you feel like, because I am this type of person, I'm believing that you're this type of person. You can't do that. You literally have to ask questions now. Hey, I know we've been talking a couple days, and I just kind of wanted to ask you, you know, are you still looking? Are you still, you know, corresponding with other women? I just kind of want to know, you know, where, you know, what's going on so that I can conduct myself accordingly, you know. And I haven't done that. I just move the way that I move. Well, I'm not in a connection by myself. And I cannot assume that another individual will be the way that I am. If I am a certain way and it's something that I expect, I have to communicate that. So the person, you know, basically said, you know, well, we never really discussed that. And I said, you're right. You're absolutely right. I have to make adjustments. So I could not get upset with the individual because this individual still, you know, chooses to, you know, kind of be out there looking or whatever. I I just had to say, okay, you're not going to get as much time from me as you're getting. I'm not going to cut off the time because I'm really interested in getting to know you. And I realize this is the dating stage. So I can't be all up in my feelings because you haven't said you're the one I want. You're all I want. No, that's God. But anyway, I can't get upset. I have to govern myself accordingly. I let the individual know, okay, this is who I am, and these are my expectations. But now I know what your expectations are. Now I know where you are. I will meet you halfway. And then I'll let this go how it goes. I can't, it would be unfair for me to keep that person on the porch and not have the thoughts of giving them access to other rooms, other house, allowing them to see more square footage, because I had a bad experience with somebody that was unhealthy and unhealed and did not know who he was and was not ready for who I am. I'm not going to do that. I am going to treat you on a person by person basis. You're going to show me who you are. I'm not going to allow something from my past to dictate how I treat you. I'm not going to do that. What I will do is I will use it as a reference so that it can show me how I need to conduct myself now. And if the truth be told, when I met my ex, I was in a very vulnerable place. I was very broken. I had church hurt. I was in a very, very low, not low, kind of a lonely place. I was hurting. So I accepted behaviors because of the place and the space that I was in. But I'm stronger now. I am not that woman. I'm stronger, I'm wiser, I'm better as a result of that situation and others. It is developing me. It is helping me to grow and mature and recognize that everything is not somebody else's fault. A lot of this stuff I have to take responsibility for. I have to be honest with myself and say, Jay, what are you bringing to the table? What are you doing? What are you showing this person about yourself? And I just want to say this, ladies, we have to stop being so available. Stop that. Usually, we're the ones that are ready for a commitment. We're ready to commit. Usually. We're the ones that we know what we want. We're ready. You know, as they say, we'll take ourselves off the market just like that. What I'm learning is that I have to wait that out. I have to wait that out, and I have to make sure that you deserve that. Even though there's a part of me, I do not want to be out here with, Tom, Richard, Mike, and Bill. I don't want to be out here with all of them. I just want Tom. If I see that there's something about Tom that sparks my interest, Tom is going to get my attention. I'm going to invest my time in Tom because I just can't. I just never been that person. But I have to remind myself that everybody is not like me. There are people that they are comfortable with that. That's how they roll. If I encounter one of those individuals, I can't get upset about that. What I have to now do is I have to position myself to where, okay, you go ahead on and see, Kim, Kathy, and Catherine. Let me just keep it with the K's. You just go ahead on. But while you're doing that, we can talk. But what's going to happen is I'm going to have to make sure that I do not, that I stay focused. So that means time that I would have given you, I may not give you that much time now. Because I see that you are divvying your time. Well, I have to make sure I don't withhold, I just preserve. Oh, that's so good, God. I thank you for that. Thank you. God says, stop withholding and just reserve. Don't give all of you. You give portions. You have to learn how to give portions. When you are a giver and you are so used to just giving, it is hard to say, I'm going to give you a little bit of me. It's hard. You have to retrain yourself because you're ready to give because you're a giver. What I don't want us to do is keep people on the porch that deserve to be in the house. And God is saying the same thing. Stop leaving me on the porch. Invite me into that friendship. Invite me into that relationship. I'm telling you, when I get off the phone with people, I say, how do they make me feel? Even if something happened that, wasn't so good. And I try to, when I notice that, like, let's say the phone call goes left. What I really try to do now is I try to fix that before we get off the call. So I try to let the person know, and even myself know, I'm not going to take this personal. I understand that we have come to this spot in this moment in our connection, and that doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make me a bad person. It just means it is something that needs to be discussed, and we need to get on the same page about it. And it's okay that we're not, on the same line. As long as we're in the same paragraph, we're on the same page, we're good. You're not going to be on the same line. You're not going to be like-minded about every single thing. And that doesn't make that situation bad. It just makes you aware. This is how we need to roll now. There are some people where, you would share your stuff and your stuff got back to you from somebody else that they done shared your stuff with. And now you just know, okay, I can't tell her deep things. I can't share with him deep things because they don't have my heart for that. They're not able to handle the deep things that I have going on. I have to share more shallow things. Doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It means that there are certain parts that I can't disclose to you. That's when you make that decision that I have to keep these people on the porch. But we cannot keep doing that to everybody. And we definitely can't keep doing that to God. We can't keep blocking off spaces to God that he needs to be invited in so that your relationships can be healthier with yourself, with others, and primarily with him. Amen. God, we thank you for the word today. We thank you. I pray it made sense. I pray it made sense. I pray that it was something that was said that blessed the hearer. I pray, God, that this word will fall on good ground. I pray that it would not just be a heard word, but it would be a received word, applied word, and a word that fruit is produced as a result. I pray, Father, for relationships, that we will not allow past experiences to keep us from having fruitful connections. I pray that we will do the work that is necessary, the work that is needed, so that we can have healthy relationships, not just with people, but also with you, Father. Because there are some of us that, because we have issues with people, we have issues with you. We feel like because we can't trust people, that rolls over into our spiritual walk with you. And sometimes we don't even notice it. We don't even realize it until something happens that we have to come face to face with those moments to see that I don't trust God because I don't trust people. Or I have a hard time trusting God in this area because I got hurt in this area. God, I pray that you would help us. Help us to not be so caught up. But speak to us, show us the relationships that we're in, if they're healthy for us. Help us to reflect when we get off the phone with somebody. When we get through talking to you, help us to reflect on how we feel. And what you've poured into us, what they poured into us, so that it can help us to better navigate where we're going, and how soon we got to get there. Thank you, Lord. We love you, we honor you, and we bless you, Father, because you are good. We give you praise, God, for what you're teaching us and how you're reaching us in this season. You're digging deep. It's no more this surface stuff. You're digging deep so that we can be healed. We can be whole and well, so that we can go out and we can tell others and draw them to you. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So we love you on today, God. I pray that you bless our day. Give us wisdom for this day. Give us the knowledge and understanding that we need to make the decisions that need to be made on today. Bless us, those of us that will be traveling. I pray that you would bless us, oh God, that you would cover and keep us, Father. And I pray to Heavenly Father that you will draw us closer to you, Lord. Nothing else is going to matter. No other relationship is going to matter if our relationship with you is not where it needs to be. So I pray that you would help us. I pray that you would bless them and keep them, that you make your face shine upon each and every one of them, and that you would give them peace. I pray that the favor of God will be upon each of you. I pray that God will keep, preserve, protect, and cover you and your family according to Psalms 91. And I do pray that goodness, grace, and mercy will follow you all the days of your life, in Jesus' name. I love you guys. I'll see you on tomorrow, 7:15-ish, 7:15, until 8:30-ish. How about that? Please, if you have not registered for the gathering, it's going down this Saturday. You don't want to miss it. Go to my page, JacinnaSpeaks. It'll be on this page as well. Please register. I would love to see you this Saturday. The gathering is from 10 to 12. It is a free event. Men and women are invited. And we do this right here. We have real conversations. Open, candid, real conversations. We get to the nitty gritty. We don't walk on the surface. We dig deeper. We dig deep so that we can uncover and unsurface those hidden lies and hidden agendas of the enemy that will keep us bound. No, we dig deep and pull that crap up, and then we allow the salve and the love of God to take care of us, to heal us, and to set us free, to break things that need to be broken. So I pray that you'll meet me. We have an amazing time. We laugh, we cry, we joke, we have fun, we talk, we share, we listen, we encourage, we motivate, we push. We tell it like it is. Meet me this Saturday, 10 to 12, November 13th. The location will be disclosed upon registration. Mask and registration is required. And this Saturday, I'm asking everyone to wear pink. My favorite color is fuchsia, which is this color. So I'm asking everyone to wear a shade of pink to help me celebrate my birthday. All right? My birthday is coming on the 30th November. And every week I'm doing something to celebrate me. I hope you'll be there to celebrate with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.